So, Om Swastiastu, good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? Hopefully, you are in great condition for today. So, on this opportunity, I would like to bring or would like to discuss the one of uh, analysis that I have doing or I have done in one article on this paper presentation. So I'm going to explain about the developing English listening material for the 7 year student of junior high school. So okay, so for the first one, for the introduction, there are 3 points that I get in the introduction. The first one is the background, the second is the purpose of the study, and then the last one is the the research question. So the first one, the background of this article that I have read. So the student worksheet or the LKS, which are often used by the teacher for teaching, do not help student to become good English user because the activities in the textbook are not originally. So probably the teacher or take from the book and then make it into the LKS. So that's mean like the student feel like didn't really helpful. And then the second one is the purpose of the study. So the purpose of the study or the purpose of the research that I read in this article to develop teaching and learning material needed to increase listening skill for class 7 of junior high school. And then the next one is the research question. There are three research questions that I get from the article. The first one is the what is the characteristic of the of good listening, and then the second, what are the listening topic needed to be developed based on the school based of the curriculum, and then the last research question is what are the listening activities needed to be developed for the 7 year student of junior high school. And then the next one is about the literature review. There are 3 points actually that 4 points that I get in the literature review. The first one is the concept of material development, and then the second one is the characteristic of material development. The third one, teaching listening, and then the last one, the principles of teaching listening. So the first one is the concept of material development. Material are stuff used by the teacher or learner to facilitate the learning of language. So whenever they are studying, material are really important because they're gonna be really helpful for the student and also the teacher and the learners. And then the second one, the characteristic of material development. There are 4 points. The characteristic of material that you for the development. The first one is material should have an impact on the student and arouse learners curiosity, attention, and interest. And then the second, exposure the real language which attains by giving student opportunities to use language in real life communicative in activities. And then the third, address different learn style and intelligence. And then the last one, the guides towards student autonomy and independence. And then the next one is about the teaching listening. So there are 3 points teaching listening. The first one is listening to repeat. So the learner will listen everything what they heard and then they will repeat it. And then the second, listening to understand. So we listen the material or the the point, and then we trying to understand about what that we listen. And then the last one, the listening to communicate. So probably whenever they are listening, so they will use it for communicate for the next future. And then the next one is the principles of teaching listening. There are 4 points of the principles of teaching listening. The first one is expose student with different ways of information processing system. The second, expose student to different type of listening. The third, teaching us variety of tasks, and the last one is always consider authentically and difficulty of the material. And then the next one is about the methodology. So In the methodology, there are 6 points that I got. The first one is the type of research. The second one is the participant. The third is data. Then the next is the fourth in instrument. The five the analysis and the data, and the last is analysis technique. So for the type of the research, in the article that I have read, this one is using research and development. And then the next one, participant the participant that I got in this article, the first grade student of junior high school in Singaraja. And then the data that used for this research is the key and carry model design. So the researcher using the Dickey and Carey model design in this research. So in this for the next one is instrument. The instrument is observation. So the researcher doing observation into the into the junior high school. And then the next one is analyzing the data. The analyzing the data, the procedure of the research adapt from Dickey and Carey's model of R&D. And then the next one is analyzing the techniques. The researcher simply is the researcher designed by Dickey and Carey. So almost like all of the data that used in this research is from Dickey and Carey. The next one is the result in this discussion. So probably the first result and discussion. So I'm going to discuss about the most important finding. There are five important thing or important finding that I have found in this article. The first one is the characteristic of good listening material. The second one is the characteristic of good listening material based on the good material and listening teaching and learning theories. And then the third, listening topic which are needed to be developed based on the school, based on the curriculum. And then number four, the listening activities which are needed to be developed from the 7 years student of junior high school. And then the last one is the listening material develop process. The next one is the answer of the research question. So the standard competency and basic competency of the listening material must closely following the guideline of the school-based curriculum. The researcher developed the topic of the listening material based on the requirement of the school-based curriculum. There are five things actually that are needed to be developed. The first one, activity which active impacts. The second is activity which expose student to real language. And then the number third, activity which expose student with different information processing system. And then number four, active which expose student to different type of listening. And then the last one is activity with different difficulty levels. So for the next uh, is about the result explanation, the implication of the result, important limitation, and then the key recommendation. So the first one is the results explanation. A set of listening material in front of student books, teacher books, and listening tape type. And then the next is the implication of the result. The content of the material closely following the topic and deleted by the syllabus. And then the importance of limitation, 7 year of junior high school which are delivered into the 2 semester. So probably that split semester. And then the key recommendation, tests still need to be done on this participular material. And then the second, a number of ideas have not been covered in this research. So well, I think that's that I can be present for the research that I have done in the article. Thank you so much for clicking this video. So I'll talk if there's any wrong information maybe while I'm explaining about the research that I have done. I do really apologize, and uh, the end I will close my explanation with Paramasanti. Om Santi. Bedit. Sih ada 10 menit asalnya gitu deh.
Bawa lo tuh lebih tuh.
Aik,
Semua
coba
rekam.
coba dulu. Akan ada di cut pinjam kan? Cut pinjam.
Kirim mereka saja.